What's going on, everyone? It's Scott back from Crypto R Us. Now, today we're going to be talking about a brand new coin that just finished its successful ICO, and that is called Iungo. And I know it's spelled Iungo or Lungo, but it's pronounced Iungo, and that is ING. Now, Iungo currently sits at 35 cents. Down on the day, it came out hot at 47.9. So we are a little bit down on the day. It's currently sitting at rank 1200 with just shy of $1 million traded. So not very much traded, and it's only on one exchange, and that exchange is KuCoin. So what is Iungo? So Iungo is essentially a company that aims to make global Wi-Fi a reality. So essentially, their marketing pitch is right now there is not one single vendor, not one single company in the world that offers a global Wi-Fi. So if you go to an airport, you go to a coffee shop, um, you're kind of at the whim of the providers. So if you go to a Starbucks, they might have a free Wi-Fi there for their customers. But if you go down the street to, Tim Hortons, well, now it's a different provider, right? So essentially, you have to have different accounts. You have to have different that sort of thing, right? So some companies they charge for Wi-Fi. Some are going to be free Wi-Fi, but then in exchange, they're going to be asking for some personal information. Maybe they want you to sign in with Facebook or Google. And by signing in, that gives them access to your email, to your friends, that kind of thing. So people don't really know what sort of information they're potentially giving out when they sign into these Wi-Fi providers. They just make it extremely easier for you to go around town and do your work and hop on Wi-Fi, and you really don't know what your security is at risk or not. So you could potentially be, if you've got doing some banking or something like that, there could be some, hacker potentially sitting on that same Wi-Fi network that's doing, some phishing techniques or has installed some malware that they can then get your banking credentials from you. So Iungo aims to make a global Wi-Fi network that no matter where you are, you can connect to the Iungo network, and Wi-Fi will be free provided to you. It's all secure, encrypted, very fast, that kind of thing. So that's on the user standpoint. How does a business benefit from using Iungo? So right now, if I was a Starbucks, Starbucks would have to set up various Wi-Fi hotspots, and they're getting their information through market analytics. Maybe they're looking at your Bluetooth history, your cookies, that sort of thing, and that's how they basically can offer you Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. Also, it encourages you to stay in Starbucks. Maybe you're going to get a coffee, maybe you're going to get a scone. You're going to spend more money there if there's free Wi-Fi. It also encourages if people are going to look for coffee, they might want to go to some place that's a little bit more busy, and if someone's staying there with their laptop, that might encourage them to go there. So that business model works really, really well for Starbucks. But let's say you're a small mom and pop shop, and you're selling coffee and some sandwiches, and you don't really see the benefit of giving out Wi-Fi because it's going to cost a lot of money to set up. It's going to cost a lot of money to maintain it. If it goes down, you have to, get an IT guy to configure it for you and get it back up and running. And ultimately, you're not really getting any benefit out of it other than maybe having someone come and use the Wi-Fi and whatnot. And it's just not really a good model. So Iungo aims to commoditize that Wi-Fi. So basically, they will pay you to use your Wi-Fi, and you'll pay you in the tokens, which is the ING token, and you'll get a percentage, kind of like a kickback, to offer out Wi-Fi to people. And that is how the businesses are going to make money. So, coming back to it here. So, they recently finished their token sale. 40 million tokens were raised at a $23 million US dollar valuation. And let's take a look at their team here. So, they've got a decent sized team led by a founder of multiple IoT companies, former LinkedIn executive, Bitcoin enthusiast. Anyone can really be a Bitcoin enthusiast. Not really sure how I like that term, but anyways, not much that really stands out on this front. Mention on a few different platforms. Okay, so today the global internet service provider market is valued at more than 620 billion annually, and it's basically controlled by around 20 major incumbent providers. So I know that in Canada, one of the biggest providers is Shaw Cable, and they've actually have extremely large Wi-Fi presence, where they've set up Wi-Fi hotspots all over Canada. And what they do is, for businesses that have Wi-Fi, they will actually set up two different networks. So one would be your own network, and one would be the Shaw Go Wi-Fi network. And that way they can get people and encourage people to use their Wi-Fi network. Now, the way that they work is it's locked down only if you're a Shaw customer. So you have to sign in with a Shaw email, and that encourages people to ultimately get Shaw if they want to participate. Now, there are competing vendors like TELUS, Rogers, that sort of stuff, and they do the exact same thing. And it's basically just a game of tug of war, who has more Wi-Fi hotspots scattered throughout. But it's really not a huge revenue gainer for them. It's more about exposure. It's more about that marketing, right, to get your name out there. So maybe that is Iungo's goal, but ultimately, I think this is a very ambitious goal for them, is to take over the entire world. It might be more strategic for them to focus on certain regions, like maybe Europe, and Europe is massive. So where in Europe do they want to focus? But I just think that it's a very, very ambitious goal for them to try to want to become a provider. Now, the other thing that makes this whole technology interesting is, in order to offer out Iungo services, Iungo Wi-Fi, they have to buy a Iungo router. Now, they haven't given a lot of details on their website in how they do that, but specifically in their video, they say you need to buy a Iungo Wi-Fi device, which means you can't use your existing Wi-Fi network and convert it into monetize it into a router that can then give you money and pay you back, but you have to go out of your way and buy a Iungo router. So routers can range from $100 to $500 and up, depending on what type of router it is. So does it make sense to have to spend $500 on a router to only make back, $20 a month in revenue? That is the hard pill to swallow that I have figured out with Iungo. I don't know if that monetization is going to make sense. What happens when the router gets out of date? What happens if it goes down? That sort of thing. Who supports it? Who troubleshoots it? That kind of thing. But essentially, their business model on their white paper here states that for businesses, the premium services will include marketing tools like user emailing services and in-app advertising. Premium services will be paid for in Iungo tokens by both users and providers. So there you go, guys. So if I sign in to the Iungo Wi-Fi, I'm going to be bombarded with pop-ups to various ads. I'm going to be asked for my email and potentially be subscribed to newsletters and stuff like that. That is how they're monetizing this thing. So nothing in this world is free. This is how they're going to be paying for it. Now, Iungo will charge a 3% transaction fee from Wi-Fi service providers or third-party services. Additionally, 1% will go to the service gateway operators, which anyone can be. This 1% will be distributed equally between all service gateways in a situation where multiple gateways are involved. So if someone's connecting and it requires 2 different Wi-Fi people to be involved, then they will split the cost. Additionally, 1% may go to a local evangelist as a referral bonus. The remaining 95% or 96% in cases where there is no refer of the end user payment will go to the Wi-Fi service provider. So here's a quick overview of their business model for the user and for the provider. So it's free, quote unquote, millions of hotspots. Very ambitious goal. Millions is very ambitious. They provide the security. They have statistics, maps of where you can find Wi-Fi. And right now there's going to be an iOS and Android app. Now the premium for the user will be faster speeds. This is the big thing. People are willing to pay for faster speeds, unlimited bandwidth, no ads, and a VPN. So I can see this potentially working for a user if they're, say, traveling around the world a lot for business. They don't have Wi-Fi in their actual house because they're bouncing around so much. Everyone's concerned about security, so having a VPN at all the times is great. And they're willing to pay because they don't want to see ads. Similar to the freemium model on mobile games and mobile devices where you pay 99 cents and it gets rid of the ads. So that model has been proven, it works, and I think people are willing to do that. Now on the service provider side, it'll be plug-and-play software, millions of global customers, ready for e-commerce, security, no IT personnel required. Okay, so that answers that question. Maybe they're going to make the software super user-friendly. Maybe updates will just happen over the air. The premium model will be very similar. However, there will be revenue sharing, email marketing, in-app purchases, support, and user statistics. So this kind of contradicts themselves. This provides support. This says that no IT personnel is needed. So where's the fine line there, guys? It doesn't really explain much. But yeah, I'm not sure that I have a real firm grasp on these guys' goals. In their video, they talk about conquering the world by 2022. That is in 4 years. They want to have a global dominance. And they've partnered with these guys, Ligo Wave, who apparently are a very big Wi-Fi networking equipment manufacturer. And I'm guessing that is the device that they're going to be using. So Ligo Wave's success is ultimately based on, Iungo's success is ultimately based on Ligo Wave's success. If this product is a sound product and it actually doesn't have many bugs or issues, then it's going to make this company ultimately successful simply because there's not much overhead and not much support that's needed. Now, if this company has an issue, Iungo is ultimately going to be affected. So because Iungo doesn't actually make the product, I can see that as being an issue down the long road. And maybe these guys get into an argument and they back off, or they pull the plug, or they start charging larger fees. How's that going to affect Iungo? So maybe they've locked in some long-term strategic partner pricing. I don't know, but it's something to consider. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe. We're going to be coming out with crypto videos every single day, telling you which ones to buy and which ones to stay away from. And I think for me at this point, Iungo is a stay away from coin. The tech and the team, ultimately, it does sound pretty good. I do have a little bit of background in the tech space as well. And I just think it's a very ambitious project. And they're coming up and they're going to be competing with some very large vendors in this space. Thinking about like Cisco, Verizon, those sort of players. And unless they have some significant market backing or a large company to help them, I think they're going to really run into a roadblock. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and we'll talk to you later.